Hey guys, Jamie here, keeping it koi. Welcome back to the channel, and if you're new, welcome. I hope I can earn your subscription today, but unfortunately you have joined us, if you're new to the channel, on a disastrous day. You can probably hear as I come outside, the hose pipe is on full bore, and if I spin you around and talk you through what's going on. Well, as you can see, the water level is now coming back up. The time at the minute is 10:55. I've had to cancel work because I got woken up this morning to the missus saying you seem to have a fair few fish floating on your pond, and as you can probably tell, it's a fair bit empty in there at the minute, and that is because I'm trying to recover as many as I can. Now, I was up at about 6:30 sorting these out, or trying to sort these out. Things are starting to calm down a bit now, so I've managed to do some water tests, as you can see. Flooded the garden, dropped as much as the bottom drain would allow, which was about 2.5–3 foot. Yeah, before I go in there, actually, for those of you with a queasy stomach, don't look, because I think there are a few that hasn't made it, I'm afraid. But yeah, most of them are just about still alive. As you can see, their gills are moving, but I think one or two has gone past saving. Some of these, as you can probably tell, are from the net. Got my brand new kahaku that I'd picked up from the show. I mean, he's not stiff yet, so I wouldn't say he's 100% dead, but he's certainly not alive. Jinrinasagi from Exclusive Koi, got that at the Coventry show, just starting to get its benny through. Lovely yellowy chagoi. The rest are all still. Actually, no, I tell a lie. One's down here under the air. One of the other kahakus from the recent show. That was the more unusual one of the three. Well, as you know, like most channels, we show the good, the bad and the ugly. This is certainly the bad and the ugly. But yeah, I'm just doing a few more water changes on these ones in the bowl. Although I don't want too much more water in there, so I'll take the hose pipe back over to this one. But yeah, I just can't work out what on earth is going on. Done the water test, no ammonia, no nitrite, no nitrate. No big pH swings. I just don't know. Just don't know. I mean, there's an awful lot of foam on the water today. It's almost like someone's tried to poison my fish. I haven't done any treatments recently. I just don't know. Just don't know. We were absolutely fine last night. It's like someone's chucked something in my pond overnight. And if that is the case, then CCTV will be the next step. Yeah, I just don't know what to do. I mean, none of them are alright. None of them. But every time another one just starts bobbing and sitting, I've been lifting them out one by one and stick them in the blue bowl down there. It's a bit overcrowded. It started off with about, well, the 4 that were floating. And then another one started floating, then another one, then another one, then another one. Ideally I'd like to whip them all out and put them all in fresh water, but I just, unless I put them in with a fry, but I mean that's still at 6% salt at the minute and lots of little babbers. Yeah, I just don't know what to do. All I'm going to do is just keep water changing throughout the day. As I say, it's just coming up to 11 o'clock now. I dropped it to start off with this morning, down to about where it is now on the skimmer, and filled it back up, and they still weren't looking any better. So I literally just opened the drain, I've turned the drum off, and just opened the drain until no water came out anymore. So yeah, and now obviously filling it back up again. I mean I dropped it down obviously as low as I could, but the bottom drain line is obviously here, so it's only going to drop it down to there. I could open the purge valve, that would drop it down another 6 inches, but I mean they've lost, I've changed at least 3.5 foot of water today now, because that was about 2 foot on that one, and then as I say, I dropped it down about the distance it is currently now. So about 2.5, maybe close to 3 foot of water they've had change, or they will have changed when this is filled back up. But yeah, I just really don't know what to do. I mean, none of them are great. None of them are great at all, but I really think someone's thrown something in my pond. It's gone uber cloudy in there, and it was crystal clear yesterday. It just doesn't look right. But yeah, there's a few that are starting to come up to the surface again now, just bobbing around, so I might have to get a couple more out. But I know how Johnny felt now, although it wasn't something I did. But when you see your fish like this, look, just sitting there at the surface, not doing anything, you know, and there's nothing I can do other than keep netting them out one by one and sticking them in there. I keep doing water changes in that throughout the day, because there's a hell of a lot of fish in there at the minute. But yeah, I mean, what else can I do? I can't fit them all in there, especially if any of the 3 or 4 big ones, well, one of the bigger ones is already in there, the no name. But yeah. Oh dear. Right, well, I'm going to keep trying to sort this mess out, keep changing the water, and I'll snap back to you all in the bizzle with an update. Back again. So we're back up to almost maximum height. The fish in the main pond are looking a bit happier. I've got the pump up a bit quicker as well. I've got the air back on max, obviously did all that this morning, but yeah, they're swimming around a lot better, a lot happier. I did have to move a couple more out of here. I hope, I'm going to check the blue vat in a second, but I'll show you these guys. They're, as you can see, all swimming around again. Got a shoal of them down there, couple over there. But yeah, I mean, they're still not happy obviously, but they're not sulking on the bottom or floating on the top, which is a good start. See if we can have a look in this net. I had to scoop those out of here earlier. Let's see if we can have a bit of a look. Put the hose pipe down like that for a second. Yeah. Again, they're still not overly happy. The Charlotte Surrey's down there doing alright though. And my other grow and show fish in there seems to be absolutely fine. I might drop it again one more time, but yeah, we've definitely got a few bit of a pile up and a few that I really don't think is going to make it. And even that guy, he's been in here for a couple of hours now and he's still gasping. He was one of the first ones that came in here this morning and he's still gasping. But one thing that I have noticed, I mean, you can see by my Deutz Aragoki Kahaku there, he is proper veiny and stressed. But yeah, one thing I have noticed, especially in here, is the amount of mucus that's just falling off them. Oh, he's still got a bit of life in him. But yeah, there's a couple in there look like they're doing really well now, and a fair few in there that certainly look like they're not going to make it, which is a massive shame. I mean, luckily my golden corn looks like he's going to make it. Looks like he's pulled through a fair bit. I don't know if you can pick it up on camera, but the amount of mucus that's just floating around in there. I mean, you can literally, when I was doing my water change earlier and I had this out, you could literally just see the mucus flowing out. I mean, there's not a lot of it about now, it's all dried up, but someone's lost a scale as well. That didn't come out of the, it did get stuck in it. But yeah, I mean, it doesn't look like anyone, doesn't look like anything's wrong with these guys. So I just can't work it out. I just can't work it out whether someone's poisoned them. I've done another water test since my last clip, and still nothing, nothing out of the ordinary. Obviously a few of the parameters have changed ever so slightly, because I'm getting close now to changing 50% of the water, because although I've not drained any since my last clip, obviously the drum has been back on and I've set it now to clean every 10 minutes. So that's helping take water out as the hose pipe's putting it in. But I think what I'm going to do, as the water level is just going above the top of the skimmer now, is just drop it one more time to be on the safe side. Although the fish look like they're doing a lot better, I'll just drop it down to the bottom of the skimmer again. Obviously the drum will clean while this is emptying, because I'm taking all this water comes from the clean side. I'll flood that side of the garden again. It's all dried up now, because it's taken about 2 hours for it to fill all the way back up from where you last saw it. But as you can see now, it's dropping down below the skimmer again. Drum will go off again in a second. Even the drum water looks different. I mean, I know it's just spat a load out, but I don't know. I mean, I've got one hell of a mess on the floor at the minute, because the amount of water that's come out of the drum today. But what can you do? Fish health is a bit more important than a mess on the floor. Right, that's now halfway down the skimmer. Tell you what though, this skimmer does draw an half quick when it's emptying like this. Just let that get to the bottom weir, and then I'll stop it. But yeah, it's the whole back of the garden absolutely flooded. I hate to think what my shed's like, because the actual door of the shed drops down at the end there, after the slabs, and the base of the shed is lower than the slabs, and the water from this has been going in the shed. So I hate to think about the state of that, but that should be about right now. A little bit more. Oh, it's a shame the water's not a bit warmer in the pond. It's only 14 degrees at the minute. But insane. By the time I finish today, they're going to have well over 50% water change. That would help with their growth. Considering they get a general water change, you know, every day because of the drum cleaning and whatnot. Oh, sorry about my shoddy camera work. I'm just looking at everything and not thinking where I'm pointing the camera. I just gonna have to get some CCTV out on the pond now. It's the only thing I can put it down to. There's nothing else it could be. I mean, they're acting like a massive nitrite spike, but there's no nitrite, and I've tried both tests. There's no nitrite at all in there, no chlorine. I've done a DPD-4 tablet, and obviously because I've got the hose pipe on full bore, I whacked in a couple of cups full of sodium thiosulfate just to see me through the day. Oh, we've gone below the skimmer. Ooh. Not concentrating on what I'm doing. Oh. Gonna have to turn the drum off again now. It's gone below the skimmer. It won't stop cleaning now. Oh well. Another foot of water. Well, not a foot, about 8 inches. Hopefully that's the last one. I mean, they're looking a lot better now already, with another couple of hundred, well, a bit more than a couple of, with a bit more water changed. The more we change, hopefully the happier they'll be. But, yeah, it's just odd because I don't normally get bubbles on the surface of my pond. As you can clearly see, especially over by the backy shower. I mean, they don't look like protein bubbles to me. But that doesn't happen in my pond. Not unless I'm doing a float treatment or something. Then I get bubbles, but... Well, again, I'm just waffling and stressing, so I will snap back to you all when it's full up, when they've at the back in the blue bowl, when they've had another water change. It's just topping up again at the minute. Let you know the verdict of my thoughts and how many losses we've had. Catching a bizzle. So we're still dealing with the disaster. I still haven't worked out what has caused it, but I have decided that as the fish that were left in the main pond were looking a lot happier, to re-add some of the ones that were doing good in the blue. So my Surigoi and Agrigoki Kahaku's gone back in there, but as you can see by the Surigoi, he is extremely pale. He's normally quite a dark Surigoi, but he's lost a lot of his colour. My grow and show showers back in down there, no name back in over there. You can see by the Agrigoki there, he's very red, whether it's sore from something stinging him or whatnot. My little Kiyotsury looking fella, he's back in as well. And as you can see, they still really don't look happy, but I couldn't leave that many big fish in there for too long. I mean, I'm just giving that another bit of a water change. It's another butcher's. Again, unfortunately, there still are, or they haven't all still come round, so there still are some looking to be dead fish. I'm not 100% sure. The only one that I think is one, well, I don't know, there's probably a few that are dead now. But I'm going to spin you around and show you how these guys are doing. So, these guys are still mooching around. A couple of the smaller ones are doing really well, but because they're so small, I didn't want to put any extra strain on them. This guy's still just sort of floating about, so you can stay in here for a little while longer. The last one to go in here that I removed after the first clip, he's still not doing great, so you can stay in here a bit longer. But yeah, a couple of the little guys, luckily the golden corn seems to be doing really well. Little genuine kahaku right there is doing okay. Benny Goy and the other kahaku down there seems to be doing pretty good as well. But yeah, there's a couple in there that are really suffering. Obviously this little guy down here, Karashu Goy I think, not doing fantastic. Yeah, I mean the big chocolate chug at the back there, as you can see he still is alive, not doing fantastic. But, yeah, I'm just going to keep doing. I got my trickle in literally at a trickle now, just to keep. Obviously these guys are stressed, so they're going to be producing ammonia and whatnot. So yeah, let them keep resting. They've got a bit more room in there now. I've only just moved the other ones out. So I'll give it until we're losing the light and then see how we're doing. I mean, what's the time now? 3:30. So water level's nearly back up to where it should be. It's just got one more weir again to go on that. I hope I've not made a silly mistake and put them in too soon, but I just don't know what to do. And what can you do? Just have to keep coming out here every 10 minutes like I have been and keep my eye on the pond. Oh, there's another one that I've just put back in. So, just keep an eye on them. You don't look happy, I might take him back out. Oh, what can I do? I don't know if you saw that then, the sour boy just rose out of the water. Oh my god. Yeah, I'm just going to keep my eye on these. I'll probably do another dump of water once it's filled back up again. Muck in another handful of sodium thiosulfate, because as I've explained in previous videos, it's not just good at removing chlorines from water, it can help remove certain chemicals from water. It's why it removes the chlorine. It's not just designed to remove chlorine, it's designed to remove certain types of chemicals out of your water. So it's a good thing to add in a situation like this if there is poison in there. But the ones that were in the main pond look happy as Larry now. The ones I've just put back in really don't look happy. I'm expecting a fair few losses by the end of the day or by tomorrow. So I'm just going to leave the drum on, cleaning regular, and once it's all done for the night anyway, leave the drum on clean and regular and turn the trickle in on high so it's continually changing water throughout the night. Don't know what to do. So next update, the fish that I put back in here seem to have calmed down a bit. I dropped it again and I'm topping it back up again. Although it's almost 5 o'clock, the sun's finally decided to show its face today. Ground, yeah, flooded the garden one more time, but yeah, I've moved all the really poorly ones Whether they will come back or not, I don't know. They're not bins. They're sitting in the net over there. That pond's a little bit warmer and it's got more salt in. So I thought, well, last ditch attempt, innit? They're all still in the water. I keep trying to stand them upright, but yeah, it doesn't really work. But yeah, there's quite a few in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Lost 7, which, considering how many I thought I was going to lose this first thing this morning, that's not a bad outcome, to be honest. It's just a shame that it's the 2 new kahakus, both of which are really, really nice. But you never know, they'll sit in there until, well, I might even just close the lid on them for tonight. I don't know, is that good or bad for the pond? Bad probably, but we'll see. If I close the lid on that net, obviously they ain't going to be able to jump out. So yeah, I might do that. Might, if I'm going to put these back in the main pond, I suppose I could just chuck them back in here for one more night, just to see, because none of them are stiff as a board. You know, when a fish dies, they go like uber stiff. They're not stiff. So I don't know. Dragonfly. Yeah, so I think this is the last time I'm going to drop the pond, because even the fish I've put back in here now, I mean, they don't seem normal obviously, but they seem happy enough that they're swimming about and there's no more sort of rising out the water and whatnot. I think it was probably just a bit of a shock them coming back into this mess, whatever's in here. But yeah, three water tests I've done today, 3 times all clear, and I've got 2 Colombo water tests. My old one, the only thing that I was out of on that was ammonia, so I've only done sort of 1 ammonia test, but yeah, my Colombo tests have been well used today, shall we say. But yeah, oh dear, I think we're at the tail end of it, whatever it is. But if any of you guys can think of anything else other than something has gone in my pond, whether somebody's poisoned it or whether something's washed off the roof, not that it can because of the guttering, but it's just weird, very, very weird. But yeah, this will be the last update today, I think. I will let you know in the morning and sign out then losses and survivors, and see if any more of them ones in the net currently will come back round, and see if any more don't make the night. So I'll let you know tomorrow what the outcome is. Catch you in a bizzle. Right guys, so yeah, it's the next morning. No more fatalities in the main pond, thank God. Everybody seems to be doing well, although they are not happy still, but they're not suffering, if that makes any sense whatsoever. They're swimming around normally, they're not eating. I did throw in just a couple of pellets just to see if they were going to be interested at all, but they weren't, so I'll leave them off the food for a couple of days and keep the water changing. Bit of a warning again, show you the fatalities, shall we say, that didn't quite make it. Really gutted, 3 of them at least, absolutely cracking koi. But they're all nice koi really, but 3 of them I am really gutted. So let me spin you around and I'll show you. So apologies if you can hear the wind. I'll try and get in the bowl a bit better, less wind. It's very, very windy today. But yeah, so the biggest one that I've lost is my Orchiba Sorogoi that I got from Adam Bayer. This guy was like scale perfect, and his little brown Orchiba markings and his little golden belly, but absolutely stunning fish. I mean, about 30 cm now he was, maybe just over. A second big one I lost, although you've probably not seen this one because this one has been in the green net. And it does look pure white, but as you can see, there was a lot of sumi just about to start coming through. Just got a bit on his tail. Almost again nearly 30 centimetres. He could have gone in the pond quite happily. Now fat one as well. But yeah, really nice shiro, or would have been a really nice shiro. Another one you probably wouldn't have seen a lot because again in the net, but really nice dark, I'm gonna say chocolate shag, don't know. Again, they're all absolutely, their skin quality and the scalation patterns on them, absolutely stunning. Obviously, you remember I said yesterday that they didn't feel dead because they weren't stiff. Well, unfortunately, they're all certainly stiff now. But I just thought I'd leave them in here with the oxygen, just in case. You know, you never know. But yeah, another one. Not too sure whether it's a golden shag or a karashigoi, but again another real nice fish. Or was. It's a shame, massive shame. Now these are the three that I'm most gutted about. Obviously them four are all nice fish, but my two new ones, I've lost some scales now, or moved out of place, whatever. But I mean, look at that for a kahaku. I mean, that was absolutely stunning. And this one, I mean, I remember when I put these in the bowl the other week and showed you this guy's head and mouth. For the size of the fish he was going to be a big fish. And then lastly, one you haven't seen since the Coventry show, Benny just starting to come through, my Jinrin Asagi. I mean, look at that, look at that. I'm not a massive fan normally of Asagis, but I was going to keep that one. Absolutely perfect condition. Yeah, so that's me losses. Apologies for anyone that didn't really want to see that, but just wanted to show you what I've been dealing with and how gutted I am that some of my best fish in the pond are no longer in the pond, so I have to bag them up and dispose of them. It's just whatever it was. I mean, I've been chatting to a few people about it now. A couple of people have said could have been an algae bloom. Wasn't. Definitely wasn't an algae bloom. I've had algae blooms, I know what an algae bloom is. A few people have said bacterial bloom. Again, I've had many a bacterial blooms. Wrong time of year for a start. When all the bacteria is all dying off. I mean, the pond, before I did all the water changes and everything, was down at 13 degrees. I haven't added any bacterial things in, you know, like your pond bombs and anything like that for apologies, for nearly 3 months, probably more than that. Last time I put something in was when Phil from Telford Koi Pond come down sort of early to middle of the summer. Obviously we're in October now. Yeah, I was chatting with Daz earlier. The only thing I can think of is either someone has put something in the pond deliberately, or someone's put something up on their roof that's washed off the roof onto my pergola, down the pergola, and dropped in the pond. So accidentally poison the fish, if that makes sense. They get a lot of moss as you can probably tell over here, that all this is moss. Where are we? Over here. All that and all that. It's all moss that's fallen off the roof. As you can hear, it's a very windy day today, so it's all blowing off. And if I spin you around real quick, you'll see it obviously bits blow onto the roof, and then when you spin you around, you'll see like a helicopter sitting there. Another one, I've already picked a few out upon this morning. Another one sitting over there. I have seen a helicopter half bobbing in the water because it's started to sink already, but when it does finally sink, obviously the bottom drain will take it and then the drum will take it out. But yeah, it's a bit odd, and as you can see, it's still really cloudy. I mean, before all this happened, it was not gin clear, but it weren't like this. It was just a bit green, but, you know, the like food colouring green. I don't know what that is floating. Almost looks like, I don't know. As I said in my one of my last clips, whatever it was that was in the pond has seriously stripped their mucus off, like almost like a PP dip would. But yeah, you can see they're not over the moon. I mean, they're not up at the window like they normally are and begging for food, but so they're not happy, but they're also not uber stressed and de-stressed and distressed, whatever, you know what I mean. Because I mean the Aragoki Kahaku down there, I mean, yesterday he was pink and veiny and horrible, and today he's not too bad. And even the Surigoi is starting to get a bit of colour back in him, because he went really pale. He's still a lot paler than he was before all this kicked off, but yeah, they're all just swimming around nice and calmly today. No one's sort of sulking at the bottom or at the top. They're just not over the moon, bless them. So yeah, so that's about it for my horrible saga. But yeah, I mean, if anyone does have any other ideas, as I say, it wasn't an algae bloom and it wasn't a bacterial bloom. If anyone can think of anything else, someone said milk, someone could have chucked some milk in. I mean, although I mentioned bleach yesterday, there wasn't really, I mean, it didn't smell bleachy, unless someone just put in a tiny bit of bleach. I don't know. Neighbour might have been cleaning their windows and guttering with bleach and some of that. I just don't know. Yeah, sorry to put this one out. I know it's probably going to be a long one, but yeah, I just now need to. I've ordered a CCTV camera, just in case, and I'm going to make it obvious of where it is. Put it out of reach, but make it obvious that it's there. So if it was somebody that's actually come into the garden and deliberately done it, they'll see it before they get anywhere near the pond. And it might deter them from doing it again, if it was. I just don't know. But on that basis, I'm gutted, you're fabulous, and we'll catch you all on the next one.